What's good, boys? Today, I'm going to talk about BPRs. So, what's a BPR? It's just another form of an imbalance, right? So, BPR stands for balanced price range. Um, so it's an imbalance, right? So, what is an imbalance, right? It's basically a draw on liquidity or an inefficiency, and the market's going to come back, right, to make the market move more efficiently. So that's really what an imbalance is, and a BPR is just the strongest drawn liquidity type of imbalance. Okay, so our other imbalances are fair value gaps, inverse fair value gaps, right? And we know how to spot those, right? So those are definitely watch the fair value gap and inverse fair value gap videos first, and then BPR video last. But so BPRs, right, are by far the strongest drawn liquidity against a fair value gap. So you can play off of a fair value gap or you can play to a fair value gap, right? So you can do the same thing with the BPR. You can play off of a BPR or you can play to a BPR. I personally like playing two BPRs because, like I said, they are the strongest draw on liquidity, like within imbalances, and they nearly get a retrace to 24/7. If it might not get a retrace like when you enter, so you could get stopped out, but at some point we will come back to that BPR and fill it. So you just need to have a right entry model, and then you'll be straight. Um, Now, what's it look like? I'll explain it first, and then we'll go on the charts. So, right when you have a fair value gap, you have one gap, right? We get a big move down, form this imbalance right here, right? But then let's say we get a sharp move back up, right? So we invalidate that first fair value gap with right when we got a sharp move up, but we created another fair value gap when we made that strong move up. So that two overlapping range between both those fair value gaps is what a BPR is. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop on the charts and see what it looks like. Um, okay, this is a good example. So you can see here, market open 9:30, right? We get a big move up, right? We create this fair value gap right here. Okay, top of the first wick to the bottom of the third wick, just your standard fair value gap, right? And then what happens next? We get a sharp move down, right? So we create a fair value gap right here with this sharp move down, and then we create a fair value gap with right here with this sharp move down, right? Now those double overlapping ranges are your BPRs. Um, I mean, and there's really not much to it. You could have easily took this trade. You could have market open. We doo took out all this liquidity. I can nearly guarantee you we created an SMT off these lows. Um, what? I kind of just want to. I haven't even looked. I literally have no idea. I don't know what day I'm on or anything, but I just have a really good feeling that this just looks like a perfect SMT long. I thought that was it. I would have been wrong. Okay. Exactly. Come on, boys. This shit's too easy, bro. It's textbook. Every time, man. Same low. Oh, wait, shit. What low is that? Is that this low? That's this low? Oh, shit. We did not make a SMT. Damn, I was tweaking some meat. It's fine, though, because we still made it. We still made an SMT with these lows. So SMT could have played off of this SMT. Bang could have scaled down, and what were your target? Easily target the BPRs, right? Now remember, we don't know how much if we were going to completely fill the BPR. So what would your take profits be? It would just be at the beginning of the BPR. So it'd be right there and right there, right? So the double shaded region is our BPR. It's two overlapping fair value gaps. Let's go ahead and find another example. That was a bullish one where price went up to fill it. You can really okay. I mean, here's another one. So we have, this is during not market hours, so I would never take this, but this was our first fair value gap. Get a strong move up, and then we get a strong move down. Second fair value gap is right here, right? What's our BPR? This double shaded in region. So, oh shoot. So this would just be our BPR. Just just this region would be our BPR. And you can see price came down. What do? We always retrace back to it and fill it. How far in we're going to fill, we don't know. So that's why you put your take profit at, because who knows? Right here we invalidated it, right? But who knows? We could have respected the BPR, and then we would have went like continued down. So always put your take profits at the beginning of the BPR, so you don't get caught like that. Here's another one. And this could have been a perfect BPR to play off of. We have two here. You have this one right here, right? Because this would be our first fair value gap. This would be our second fair value gap. What happens? This is our shaded region, so that's our BPR. But then you have another BPR right with that right there, and then this fair value gap. You see? So then our second BPR would have been like that. So you have two BPRs here, right? Perfect. We filled this, didn't invalidate, we respected, could have played off it. You could have played off this market structure shift. What happens? We just shit the bed. Here's another one. This is our first fair value gap right there. This is our second fair value gap right there, right? So the double shaded region is our fair value, or is our BPR, which would be that. You can see we get a perfect fill. We see selling pressure out, enter off the selling pressure, stop loss at the bottom of the BPR or the top of the BPR, take profit, draw on liquidity. These relative equal lows, bang. This is a perfect example. So remember, it has to be like these sharp moves, right? So sharp move down, fair value gap there. Immediately sharp move up. We invalidate this fair value gap and then create another, making a BPR. So this fair value gap, this double shaded region is our BPR. Bang. When we were all the way up here, we probably, yeah, you could have cut. We filled in this 5 minute fair value gap right up. This 5 minute BPR actually, because you can see here we have a fair value gap here, and then we have a fair value gap here, right? But our double shaded region is our BPR, so you could play off the BPR. We tap in, we see selling pressure out with this candle. Bang, stop loss. At the top of the BPR. Take profit. The beginning of the BPR that just happened, and just like that, 4RR. Smack work. I'm telling y'all, bro, it's OP. BPRs are by far, SMTs and BPRs are by far my favorite confluence. I don't push people to use any confluence for real, but if I were to, like, I recommend, like, the only confluence I would push are SMTs and BPRs. They are just goated. We have one right here, and you can see we do eventually fill it right over here. Now here's the thing. Here's just like a tip I want to show you. So you can see here, right? We have like this kind of this clean downtrend, right? And then we have like this clear uptrend, right? Most of the time, what this means is that you can scale up into higher time frames, and we'll probably form a BPR around this range on the higher time frame. So let's go to the 15 minute. And bang, we formed one, right? Because we have this fair value gap here, and then we have this fair value gap here, right? Our double shaded region is our BPR. So bang, this is our BPR. And you can continuously do this for any time frame for real. So like, essentially what I'm saying is that like when you have a clear uptrend and then a clear downtrend, but with no BPR, you can scale up into a higher time frame, and there will most likely be a BPR around that range. let's see. Yeah, like right here. So you can see right here, right? There's no BPR in this range, right? Yeah, there's not. But we have this clear downtrend, and then we have this clear uptrend, right? And then when we scale up into a higher time frame, these candles are condensed into one or two or less candles, right? Depending on how high of a time frame you use, right? So when these candles are condensed, they form like strong moves down, and then same thing when you're going back to the uptrend. So we'll go back to this red line. Bang, we have a BPR right here. You can see it. This fair value gap. And then we have this fair value gap. So what's our BPR? The double shaded region, which is just that. Price could have gone. Price went all the way up here. We swept all these draws on liquidity. Bang, saw selling pressure out. Or you could have just took off the sweep in a break of structure. So let's just say you entered right here. Stop loss at the high. Target the top of the BPR because we don't know how far in we're gonna fill, right? And this can get even better though, because you can still see that even though we're on the 15, we have a clear downtrend, but we have a clear uptrend, but we could still, there's probably a BPR in the 30 as well. Oh no, did I not mark out that red line? Shit, I didn't. Okay. And bang. I'm telling y'all boys, it's free game. For value gap here. Another fair value gap here. What's our BPR? The double shaded region. So our double shaded region would look like that. So this would be our BPR. And it's really, this might even be on the hourly as well. Yeah, just like that. We have, that's our fair value gap. We have this second fair value gap. What's our BPR? The double shaded region, which is just this. That's really all y'all boys really need to know about BPRs. I like playing to them, but you can do it as you want to. You can play off them, play with them. I like playing to them because they're a really strong draw on liquidity. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If that shows like confusing, or if I said something kind of confusing, y'all can always text me and let me know what was confusing and shit like that. If y'all need more help, and yeah, I got y'all boys, and I'll see y'all. Catch y'all boys.